Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, depending on where you are. Great to have you guys here today. We're super excited about the content that we have here at May 16, 2024 with Deep Target's Customer Success Webinar. So thank you guys for joining here today. I have with me Helen. Helen, how are you today?
I'm doing well. It's a nice sunny day.
That's great. And we hope it is where you guys are as well. So we have information-packed webinar to share with you guys. And we would love your comments afterwards as well. And certainly at any time following that, if you'd like to set up a meeting with us to go over some of this content and how to use it, that would be great. We're, as usual, we're planning for only about 30 minutes to cover topics today. And we've given Jacob the day off today because not truly, but from the webinar because he's so busy actually helping so many of you guys with other great new aspects. So once again, I'm David Kingsbury. I run our customer success. Love to spend time with you on the phone about what you're doing and what we're doing, the innovations that we have coming with Deep Target. And of course, Helen runs our implementation support training and runs our support. So she's in contact with a lot of you guys every single day. So it's great to be here with you. So let's go ahead and get started. We're talking about optimizing each individual campaign for highest engagement and new account opening success. We're going to take a peek at several examples of successful campaigns. And then at the end, for those of you guys remaining, one of you guys will win a coffee on us. So Java Joy to bring it all back together. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So let's optimize each individual campaign. And many of the times when you're preparing to do all of your campaigns, you're going to consider these three things, but certainly for an individual campaign. And incidentally, our webinar last month was all about an optimized campaign framework. So what would be the overall set of campaigns that you might deploy to have the most, if you will, wide engagement levels as possible. But this one's going to focus on an individual campaign and thinking about that individual campaign. Okay. So first of all, the first question, it's a combination of questions. What does your community need and need now? And what do you want to promote now? So a lot of times your FI has individual needs. We know that in Q1 and well into this quarter, deposits have been top of mind because of the loan growth last year. And so what does the FI need? But always lead with what the community needs for sure. And then second, who do we want or need to reach? And that's trying to be very, very specific so that you don't bombard your user base with irrelevant ads. And we're going to talk a lot about that. And then finally, how do we get their attention? And this is so important because in today's world, you're fighting for eyeballs, attention levels, but it will pop to the surface if it's something that's relevant in their needs right now. And then finally, how's it working? So we'll take a peek at that as well. Okay. All right. So the first thing we want to talk about is what does your community need and what do you need to promote? A lot of times that'll come down from other sources, your lending department and whatnot, about what you need to promote. But what does your community need? And do your account holders actually tell you what they need? And how can you see that? And then what's going on in the local economy? We know that a lot of times if your demographic is of one age level, things in the economy will affect their needs, as well as just economic times overall, right? So paying attention to those, and I'm sure you guys all do continuously. But also, one of the things that we like to think is a real advantage with Deep Target, if you've been a customer of ours for at least a year, if not two, you can actually look at historically what you did last year and how well it performed. And so an example of this is we've taken an actual customer of ours and gone back to Q2 of last year to see what they were actually promoting and then what was the responses of that. And so you can see across the board, they were running recreational vehicle loans, mortgages, savings, other type of opportunities, credit card, auto loan, and even consumer loan. And I'll come back to that one in a second. But you can see the high level of engagement across at least the top three: recreational vehicles, because we're going into the summer, certainly; mortgages, when people are ready to clean house and leave house; and then savings, perhaps part of the economy. And I'll just point out consumer loan over here apparently was really highly targeted because the engagement was so high here in this particular example. And I look to you, Helen, if you had any comments that you might want to make on this particular look back.
Well, as David mentioned, this is a good time to take a look at your campaigns. You do want to run across all your account types that you have, but prioritize those that what you need now. Whether, does it fulfill the needs of your institution, and does it fulfill the needs of your community? So we would say, make sure you've got good coverage across all your account types here.
Good. And so this is just a reminder. You can go back 2 years into your data and do these types of reports, and you can look at this is the, if you will, this is our total block display. You can do a line graph, and you can look at click rate as well by doing this chart look. And of course, you can always compare channels, mobile versus online as well. Okay.
Well, this one, David, I just want to go
Yes.
back on this one just a second. So this particular chart that he's showing right here, that's showing your high level campaign categories, but to get, to drill down into it, I would select that table view, and you can look at within those categories, every single campaign is listed. So it's kind of a roll up there for all your campaign performances. And that's a good one to look at.
That's right. That's right. Good comment. Thank you, Helen. Okay. So what are your next two considerations? They're going to circle around who and how. But in the case of who, your best pursuit is to create ads for individuals that will find them most relevant and intelligently targeting them, versus let's give everyone the kitchen sink. I just kind of threw that in there, right? So the reason I stop here, I was talking with the CEO at a credit union recently, and he said that in our discussions about digital marketing and online ads, he said, with my mobile app, I see ads that don't interest me at all. And what that told me immediately was he was being presented with all sorts of irrelevant ads. And so he found that to be ineffective for him. And so that's what you're going to potentially do to your digital users, is if you give them the kitchen sink, then they're going to not really think that the ads are important to them, because most of the times they're not. So just bear with us. We're going to talk about that. But then the other side of it is, how personally appealing are the ads to your digital users versus, I call it low interest. Helen said earlier in our discussions and preparations, she said they just feel kind of cold and gray. And then there's some that are just annoying, and we've all seen those that ads that I'll be in some app and the ad will actually turn on and start playing music or whatnot, and it's not in anything I'm interested in. So we have to be very careful about those two components, and that's what we're going to talk about here. So first of all, what's really great about Deep Target is we have multiple ways to target, and we continue to expand on that, and we can work with you on including more sources for your targeting. But the main ones that I mentioned here are the all-user campaign, target by list, target by rule, target by predictive model, which is our machine learning method that we released 3 years ago now. And we all know that the all-user campaign will go to all users. The problem is, just as I mentioned before, there's only a small percentage, maybe I'll just throw out maybe 1 in 10 people that are interested in that ad. And oftentimes they can feel like that they're overwhelmed with irrelevant ads. And it's also taking the space of those ads that could potentially be relevant. So that's why we acknowledge that under the question of relevancy, all user campaigns is not the best. However, it's really easy to deploy, and they do have real value because you are reaching about 10% with that may not be directly reached that could be interested, right? And Helen, I know you're going to have some comments about, I'll let you wait for just a second.
Mhm.
The next one is target by list. The problem with that is that's a pretty manual process, which means that you have to create that list and when you launch the campaign, and then you need to update it because our automated tools down here, when someone takes out that, let's say that CD, they will automatically drop out of the list, or the audience, they won't drop out of the list. So to once again preserve relevancy, you will want to update that list. But you can develop the list from multiple sources, which is an advantage. And I know a lot of people do that. And Helen, still, I'm going to let you wait for just a second. Which we say lists can be very good, but it can be time consuming, and you have to stay on top of it, if you will. Then our target by rule does require setup, meaning you have to think about what data fields you want to use as criteria for those to become part of the audience. But then it's maintained automatically. And the other kind of cool thing, not that we don't help with the other ones, but you can submit a rule request automatically in or within the DXP, and then we'll respond and help you build that rule up out of your data. Okay, and then finally, target by predictive model is the super simplest, and we like to think most effective because it does use our machine learning model based on the account holders that were interested and did take out new accounts from over 200 of our FIs over the last 2 years. And we limit it to the highest propensity number of those individuals. And then we also maintain that. So we like to think that's the greatest of them. So I just want to make sure that you know this. Helen and I had a call with Credit Union this week, and they were not familiar with our predictive model. So still trying to always get the word out about all of our capabilities. Okay. All right. So Helen, now I'll let you drop in.
Yeah, I want to talk about target by list a little bit because, we have very good, but we do have a way to automate this. So, most people say, oh, I've got a list of pre-approvals or something that is very specific. And so that's why it's an excellent way. But like David mentioned, you do have to maintain that list and make sure you're monitoring it and turning it on and off and things like that. So there's that. But, if you've got data that's coming from another system, a CRM or another thing out of your core where it's not being included in your data, that's the type that you want to use for that. Target by rule is going to be your, very specific, if you've got very detailed criteria that you need for a particular campaign, that's the one to use. And your target predictive model, I mean, if you have evergreen campaigns, they're going to be, you want those things to be running all year. That's really great to have that set up because it's going to get to the highest propensity at that particular time. Now, one thing that we didn't mention here on this sheet is we also have detargeting. So with the target by list rule and predictive model, you can also set detargeting. So if somebody, I don't want to say to keep the annoyance value out, you can set that up. So if an account holder looks at an ad and doesn't engage with it over a certain period of time, you can have it suspend showing for a little while and then turn back on automatically. So, there's some tools within the application that you can tweak that really are effective for you. So prioritization, detargeting are really good things to know about. And, we're here to help you with that. We want you to be successful with your setup.
Great. Thank you, Helen. Good stuff. So yeah, she was talking about a concept we don't actually cover. We covered it last month in
Mhm.
good detail called detargeting. And that's an automated process embedded in every single campaign as well. So if you have questions about that, let us know. All right. So then there's really two sides to personalization. There's the data side, identifying the candidates or audience for it. And again, where did that data originate? We can help you with that and suggest and, if you will, combine that data so you can be utilized for your audience. And then add personalization, the one that really draws the biggest attention because it's what's shown to each digital user and what that content looks like, and how can I use the data, and how can I honestly build trust, but yet not appear invasive. So let's take a peek at all that. So how do you get their attention? So first of all, it's really important that when you engage your digital users, that you show them that you know them. And so that's why we advocate so much. You should consider adding the first name of your user in every ad, and that's a very simple concept that we provide directly. And then the second part of that is adding data to show them that you've got actual data on them that is valuable to them that they may not realize. And we'll talk about that. Then what does the overall content look like? What does my call to action look like? And then finally, is there anything else I should consider? And we'll come back to that. Okay. So a lot of discussion, but we can really help you with this. And we haven't mentioned yet, but you should know we have hundreds of copyright-free ads available in DeepTarget that you can take advantage of. And if you have questions about that, let us know. But I'm going to this show me you know me because in today's world, all of our consumers want to feel like that their vendors, if you will, certainly their banking, their banks and credit unions should know them today. So here's a generic ad, which is great, very simple, fine, but is this personalized ad better? We've got her first name. We've got the fact that we know she's got a 2.4% CD and it's maturing in March. And then that we're going to auto renew it at this percentage next month. So all that information is really valuable and personalized for Ann. So which one do I show and which one is better? Okay. So just think about that. Here's another one. And Helen, if I'm not wrong, is this generic ad on the left one of our ads? Or do you know?
I think we have that as a generic ad.
Yeah. So we have this in our set of data. But you can modify it. You could put some text on top of it and that kind of thing. But what's better, the generic ad about a home equity, or the fact that Jordan, don't miss out on our sweet HELOC special, borrow now. And this happened to occur in the month of February, so it had a Valentine's type of emotion, if you will, applied to it. And the apply now had a heart on it. So which one would engage someone, one of your digital users now, right? Okay. And then finally, the one that we love the best is our ability within DeepTarget to wish your digital users happy birthday. And I say digital users, but we could also do that via email to all your account holders because we have that data. And we're going to take a look at a couple more of those in just a second. And just as a reminder, to add the name, the first name of the digital user directly into the ad, it's a matter of creating a text and then prepending the first name. And then you can actually test it with a name field, right, Helen?
Yep. And then there's alternates, just depending on how you have your layout. If you don't want it to have a comma afterwards with the message coming afterwards, you can use some specific syntax there. So just
That's
reach
right.
out to us and we'll show you how to do that.
That's awesome. Very simple. Perfect. So here's some more examples of personalized ads. And these are fresh off the press, right, Helen? Olivia on our team just created these in the past couple of days, popping in the first name of the individual directly. And so it can make a really nice difference. Okay. Also, just some more examples. Here's my favorite. I don't know why. Happy birth month, David. And you throw in an offer for them directly, which is awesome. And this is another example of personalized, but many of you, I know how important it is to onboard new account holders. And so within our system in a targeting by rule, you can also, in the first 30 days of their membership or customership, you can deploy different ads based on what you'd like to tell them to join month 2, month 3, and Helen's getting all these different campaigns, informational and product related as well. So you can do that.
And I want to talk a little bit about that one too, while we're on
thank
the
you.
subject. I know a lot of our customers have particular standard operating procedures when a new person comes to their institution. When they sign them up, maybe if you're a credit union, you might say, hey, I'm going to get you on checking the day that you sign up, instead of just your share account, and then the things that you want to do, make sure that they've got alerts, make sure they're signing up for bill pay. Maybe the next month, 30 days, you ask them about a credit card and things like that. So you can use those date fields in your data to do kinds of behaviors that you want your account holders to do. So just think about that.
Good, Ellen. Good stuff. Good. Okay. And then let me go back to that question. Is there anything else I should consider? Emotion. Is emotion a form of personalization? So this is a great article. So this comes from an organization called the Science of Persuasion. This is a great article talking about the fact that ads that are emotionally engaging are more effective. So what you should begin to realize, and my career in sales has always been that all purchase decisions are based on emotions more than numbers. When it came down to it, people would go, well, I just felt really good about your company. And so that's why we went with you, that kind of thing. So although you still have to focus on your features because people are smart, you really want to highlight an emotion of how that consumer is going to feel from having a product and having a relationship with your FI, right? So here's another article from the Financial Brand talking, Barb from Pennsylvania State Employees Credit Union, tapping into someone's emotions is what builds loyalty and helps retain members for a lifetime. So that's so true. So what about emotions? So you can add emotions to your ads just by pictures. Adding individuals that have things that are eye-catching. Certainly dogs and babies are always top of the line. Kids, certainly, smiling people. I think I've mentioned many times in the past what we tend to look for, and I'll tell a brief story about that as well, is we look for people in ads that we think we look like who are happy. We look for ads with people in them that we think we look like that are happy. So, I always look for ads that have Tom Cruise in them because I think I look like him. I'm teasing, but I need him to be smiling. But I also love dogs. Right, Helen?
And one thing I wanted to mention, I find this more as we talk with our managed services customers, but this is for everybody. You look at your demographic. Who are they? Do the people look like the people in your area? Do the homes look like that? Are the kitchen remodels are the types of things that are appealing to people in your area? Of course, there's going to be a variety for all kinds of things, but just keep that in mind as you're choosing your graphics.
Okay. Then don't forget, once again, we were on a call recently, and one of our customers didn't realize we had this new capability that we released now. It's over a year ago, called Spinfluence, where the ads can rotate up and down, not left and right, but up and down, roll over. So we call it Spinfluence, which is a great eye-catching transition in the ad. So be aware of that. Simply adding this under ad rotation under setting, you can click the 3D transition, and it will go into effect for all horizontal ads across your entire system. Okay. And then don't forget about prioritization. Also under settings, you can go and prioritize campaigns. And this is a true example of one of our customers that has a certificate prioritized, and you can see the number of impressions that are occurring. So it's the first ad they see every time they log into the system. So it dramatically increases the numbers of impressions, and of course you can see the result overall from the engagement. And they also do generational based, if you will, investment. So different ad for every single look and feel, which is awesome, and great engagement from that as well. So don't forget about prioritization. And so in summary, a person's name to him or her is the sweetest and most important sound in any language. So Dale Carnegie, who wrote the book, if you haven't read it, you should, How to Win Friends and Influence People, is an amazing story on how to sell to people without selling, if you will. And we like to think we make it so easy, certainly for the first name, and a bunch of other data components. Think about what makes an ad personal for you, and does my FI know me? And then finally, add a little emotion to every ad if you can, especially smiling people, jumping puppy, those sort of things. I'll go back to this. Does my FI know me? I actually have a credit union, a member of a credit union, and they have never wished me a happy birthday. So I find that concerning, which is funny, right? Okay, so I did want to point this out. This was a campaign that Andrews Federal Credit Union ran. It's been about 3 years ago. It had dramatically great results. They targeted their membership over 70 years old with just this simple picture: for his generation and yours, we can help. Ask us how. So that's a perfect emotional pull in the ad, and a very simple statement of what you might want to do. And what do grandparents really want to do? They want to help their grandkids. So there's a little emotion there. Okay, and then finally, we talked about the last question: how's it working? So make sure you guys go into your management report, you go to the third tab, and you look at the growth grids. Because what really matters is how many accounts were actually open based on your campaigns. And you can see at a category level, certainly, but and I could show you inside our influence conversion report how an individual campaign does. But don't forget about this guy. Really impressive report that you can share with your management and see the total number of accounts opened, influenced via Deep Target, as well as an estimated monthly recurring revenue. That's monthly recurring revenue that's occurred based on your efforts. And this is an actual chart of one of our customers. So great stuff. Okay. I want everybody to know about our AdBuzz capability to generate ads based, it's using the Gen AI technology. So we have this available as well. All of these ads were generated with it, and it can be a great starting point to add more of the first name and personalized data and so forth. But reach out to us if you'd like to see that. And then don't forget, we now run the system for you. How many customers now, Helen, actually are we running Deep Target for them? I'm sorry?
25.
25 and growing weekly, actually. So let us handle all that expertise and optimization. If you'd like, we could be a wingman or a co-pilot for you. And then finally, make sure that you visit and subscribe to our YouTube channel, because we're going to have a lot of continued information there, and these webinars show up there as well. Perfect.
Can I mention something about the YouTube channel as well? Is that we have training tutorials that are out there, and they're not public, so we would need to send you the link there. So if you're interested in those, you just reach out to us at support and we'll send that to you.
Helen. Great. So the final moment, first of all, Helen, drum roll. Who is our winner of Java Droid here today?
Okay, I hope I'm not butchering this name. Aji Dio is our winner today.
Aji, congratulations. Watch for an email from me, and also then an email from Starbucks here by tomorrow. And everyone else, thank you guys for joining us today. We hope the information was super helpful for you. Reach out to us. I did see a question. I was wondering, Helen, did you see?
Answer, David. I did answer.
Fantastic. Excellent. Good guy. Good job. All right, everyone. Have a great rest of your day. And thank you for being part of the Deep Targets family. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. See you next month.